Hi folks, Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Coming to the blog post, I want to share with you, of course, if we'd like to review the latest in social media and technology. This is app.net. Okay, so this isn't app.net, but one of their front pages for joining. What we're going to do is talk about it, review it. I recently joined app.net in the last 24 hours, and we're going to talk about my experience and all the good stuff. Essentially, you can join app.net right now. Basically ad-free. You can pay $50 to be a AppNet member, which gives you 1 full year of service on app.net. Really important to remember as to what that $50 goes to. You really divide this by 12. What are you looking at? Like $4 a month or something, $5 a month roughly. So you can also, if you're a developer sort of person, you want access to their API, you can take and pay $100 a year for this. So you've got those two options that you can take and do. Now, a lot of people have been asking me, Chris, what is this app.net and what's going on and how does it work? Is it worth paying $50 for and all that sort of good stuff? Well, I'm here to give you my overview and what I think you should do. You can see here that basically the app.net is built on this principle of paying for a platform without having to sell your soul to ads and your information being sold. I don't know if it'll always stay that way because I actually don't mind the other format, but I do think it's important to have more competing platforms and networks in the system to basically give rise to better products for consumers and more options for consumers and more pressure for companies to innovate and make great products, and also maybe avoid some of the things that consumers feel are evil. So app.net is out there, probably not for that end as much, but basically to be an ad-free social network at this point in time. It is in alpha. That's the one thing that I want you to remember when you consider yourself, do I want to be on app.net? It is in alpha. When you look into it, buy into it, and first get on it, the most important thing you do have to realize is the alpha aspect of it. It's very bare bones, it's not pretty, and all that good stuff. But here's what you do have. You have a very core group of users, and they're growing very fast. They're up to, I think, 17,000 and some odd users now, and they're growing at a pretty good fast pace. Is it mainstream yet? No, because this product is just still in an alpha stage. It's not close to beta, and it's probably a long ways from really a global launch. But here's one of the reasons that I invested in it. There's a lot of developers that are involved in this, and these aren't new developers. These are developers that are very experienced with the Twitter products and other products on iPhone, iPad, web apps, and all that good stuff. A lot of them have either rejected or apps they pulled back from Twitter because of Twitter's constant attack on third-party developers. They've taken some of those apps that maybe they had in production and turned them into app.net apps. So what's been really great about joining app.net is I've actually got 1 or 2 really great app.net clients that I'm able to use, or apps that I'm able to use on both the Android and the iPhone systems. So I found 2 of those. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's under development. I'll show you that here in a second. So one of the things you have about app.net is there's a whole ecosystem of developers that have bought into it and that are really supporting the future of it and what it is. And if you really understand what took place with Twitter, the developers are what really made Twitter successful and really put it on the map, which is kind of interesting because now they're killing off the developers as they go. You can see here, here's a whole list of different mobile apps that are either in the process of being worked on or issued. Most are kind of in the process of being worked on, but these are different apps that will be coming out soon or are already out for the mobile devices for both Android and iOS. You can see here there's a ton of different data that they have that's come out. Web apps, there's a whole mess of stuff that they're working on right now with web apps. You can see that stuff going on. Different search engines, posting and sharing stuff. There's all these developers have basically come to them as brainchilds and really help making this app.net a really cool developer tech ecosystem, if you will, where there can be all these great apps, and really from the get-go. So you can even see here that one of my favorite apps, Buffer app, is on here, and they've linked that in to where you can post through the system. You can find friends here. There's one app I've been using called ADN Users, and you can basically see who all the latest users are who've logged into app.net, follow them, and all that good stuff. So let's take a look at the app itself. Let's get in, move away from this third-party discussion. We'll get into the app itself. You can see here it's basically got 256 characters that you can do. Really been enjoying it. It's kind of funny. I'm so used to doing 140 characters. It's been really fun to be able to actually keep talking and all that good stuff. So you can see here you can easily make a post. Now they just have your current stream, which comes from people that you follow, current updates from your network, if you will. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this now that you know and have seen this, that app.net is an alpha. So we're going to go ahead and kill that and get rid of it so we don't have to see it. You also have mentions, people that are talking to you and having conversations with you. Okay, and you also have a global stream. So this is really important with the global feed because app.net is pretty new, so you've got to find some people that are talking so you can have some people to talk to, meet and greet and everything else. So you can see here there's a whole mess of people chattering it up and all that good stuff. They've done the numbers on app.net, and there was an infographic I saw recently where about the average user is putting forth about 14 posts a day, which is pretty good. Now, what's really cool about the way they've set this up is it's pretty much building on the same structures or same ideas that other social networks have used. You can see here it shows the recent time of a post. It shows that you can reply to them directly. It's using the @ system. It also has a way for third-party apps to be identified, much like on Twitter when you see, oh, Social Oomph posted this, Hootsuite posted this. This tells you who posted it to the system. And then you can also see conversations. I don't think we're going to pull one up here. Here we go, in reply to. So if I hit in reply to, I can actually see a streaming conversation on a certain topic or on a certain, I don't think you call it a tweet in here, but let's just call it a tweet because you know what that is. I'm not sure what you call an individual speaking thing on app, maybe an app, I don't know. So anyway, going across here, you can see that you can also mute a user. A new system like app.net already has a couple spammers on it. You can mute a user, which is really nice. So you have all the basics that you can do. Not quite a place where you can upload pictures, although if you go into the third-party apps, there's a few different ways where you can use other companies to do that. But I got to tell you, here's what my first impressions are. It's not pretty, it's not nice, but it is under alpha. But what is cool is it's having great conversations. Notice what it's missing? There's no Catter Day, there's no stupid internet memes, there's no insane things where people are just retweeting the same internet meme that you've seen 50,000 times over. It's all a bunch of great conversations, and I'm surprised it's not too nerdy. It's actually pretty cool, and everybody chitter-chattering up, and it seems like a pretty nice place to be. Everybody seems really decent, and a lot of them seem to be the same people that I've seen throughout the web. But it is nice to have a place where I don't have to look at every other post as a stupid internet meme picture. Geez, it's a really nice break, let me tell you. So I love it from that angle. Let's look in the About section. You can see here in the About section you can get to third-party apps. There's a community fact that they built. There's a blog that they have that communicates stuff. Terms of service. One thing that's really cool about the terms of service, and I believe their privacy policy, is they posted them up for feedback to all the people that are involved with app.net to get feedback, good, bad, and ugly. So they're basically saying, look, we're trying to make the system your system, and you tell us what you want, and we'll all try and kind of work it out together. So much more different than maybe some of the other systems that you can be on or networks that you can be on. They'll pretty much cram whatever they want down your throat because you're not a customer of those companies. The advertisers are a customer. You're not a customer of Facebook. You're not a customer of Twitter. The advertisers are the customers. You're just the people who are posting content, and they're reselling your information and content. So let's take a look. You can go into your profile. You can edit your account. You can have settings that they've given you, and of course you can log out. You can see here I've created a little kind of a cover page, if you will, a Facebook cover or whatever. There's some details here that I put in. Of course, I'm the janitor at thechrisvossshow.com. I think everyone knows that. I can also post from here if I want. Let's take a look at being able to edit your account. In here, we can, of course, install a bio. We can change display name. You can change your password, profile assets. You can go ahead and change your profile image, your color image, or your cover image, I should say. You can also do your data export. If you want to take your data and leave with it, guess what? You can. Muted users. Here's a list of muted users that I may have muted, and maybe I can look at unfollowing them and all that good stuff. So this is some of the data that you can see here. You can also see the apps down here that I've authorized to have access to my account. So you can do that just like you can in Twitter or anything else. Let's take a look at alpha settings. Let's see, directed posts to my streams. In my streams, show directed posts to users I don't follow. Let's take and do that for fun. So you can see that here. Now, here's what I think you should do and what you should consider is app.net worth dropping $50 on. To me, it is. Let me explain why. My show, the chrisvossshow.com, my website, my blog is really what it should be called, is basically angled toward our audience of techies who love, iPhone apps, computer apps, all that sort of good stuff, all the technology stuff that we've angled ourselves to. So people in app.net is probably a core area of our audience, or a large part of our audience, or people that we would hope that would read us and all that good stuff. So for me, $50 was a great investment to get in. Another thing that you may want to consider at dropping $50 on app.net is it gets you an early bird chance to lock in your name. Now, if you have brands and you spend a lot of time on social media, marketing, and all that sort of good stuff, $50 is probably worth the cost of reserving the name of your brand. With the developer standpoint and the developers that are behind it, I really feel that it's going to be fairly successful. Will it be huge mainstream? I'm not sure. We'll have to wait till they come out of beta and more of the bells and whistles, and wait till they innovate, and who knows what will come. I think over the next year we're going to see those changes made. But $50 really isn't that bad of an investment to make to get your name reserved potentially on a great system. And I can tell you, I have a lot of confidence in the developer community that's behind app.net. And Twitter and Facebook and other people, they just keep making it worse for developers. Not really Facebook so much, but definitely Twitter. And they're alienating a lot of people. And more as these people get alienated, they're coming to app.net, which only means more really cool apps, more super cool toys, all that sort of stuff that made Twitter great. And so that's why I really believe it's going to be successful over the long term, and it's going to last. I don't know if it'll become as huge or popular as Facebook or Twitter, but I definitely think it's going to do much better than some of the so-called Facebook killer apps that I've seen out so far. So I really believe in it, and really when it comes down to it, if you pay the $50, you get to reserve your name on the system, and that can be important in branding. Can be definitely important in branding. Just that $50 alone investment in being able to have your brand involved with app.net, I think is smart. I think it's going to be successful. Whether it's going to go huge or not, I don't really know that, but we'll have to see. But given the fact that developers are who made Twitter really successful, app.net's going to be a really cool and pretty place to be very quickly with all the different toys they have on it. So if you're in the tech industry, if you're in social media and all those other areas, I definitely would recommend making an investment in app.net. $50 over 12 months is like, $4 and some change, almost $5. But $5 really isn't that much to make this investment. Reserving your name, I think, is another smart thing to take and do. And I got to tell you, it's a nice place to be on. I'm meeting a lot of nice people, a lot of good people, a lot of people in the developer community, which is kind of the area that I like to play in. And what's really nice is I really enjoy not having to see all the memes and all the stupid stuff that people post. And some of the politics, I've been just enjoying being here without all the political crap that's going on Facebook right now. So it's been a lot of fun that way. The apps are really nice, especially from a mobile aspect with the couple apps that are out right now. And then, of course, there'll be more coming. I believe there's some iPad apps that are being worked on. So there's a lot of great stuff that can happen here with these third-party developers, and app.net is built to embrace those folks and really engender them and encourage them to make a great product and make app.net a great product. And for that alone, I think it's worth the investment. If you're a normal person who just likes, I don't know, dicking around on Twitter, Facebook, and you're not really committed to maybe representing your brand on the internet, maybe app.net's not the place for you yet. Maybe you need to wait until it comes out of beta or goes full mainstream and maybe isn't charging $50. But I definitely would say that if you're in social media, if you're in tech, and you've got $50 to spend, you should definitely spend it as an investment in your brand. Let me say that again. You should definitely spend it as an investment in your brand. I'm very impressed from what I've seen, and I can tell you that if what I'm showing you now I'd seen before, I would have dropped $50 a whole lot quicker. And so hopefully the people at app.net don't mind me sharing this, but one of the things that reserved me and a lot of people from dropping the $50 was no one could see behind the curtain. So hopefully this will give you a chance to see behind the curtain how it works. You can hear some of my thoughts on how it operates and why I would want to invest in it, and you can kind of get a good idea as to what you want to do. So those are my recommendations. If you're in tech, if you're representing a brand, you've got a very good brand, make the investment. I think app.net is going to be around for a long time, and I think it's going to be successful. Whether it's going to be a huge success is another story, but I think definitely with the developers that are backing it, you can't miss. And I think it's definitely going to be better from what I've seen than the Diasporas and some of the other things that we've seen fail out recently that kind of had high-minded ideas but kind of very early on turned into the internet trash memes that you see on so many other networks. So there definitely is a more high-mindedness environment. Plus, most of the people that are on app.net are developers. So you're going to get into a whole group of people that are going to talk smart conversation as opposed to picking their nose. So those are my reasons for being on app.net. After 24 hours, I'm very happy I invested $50 in it. And yeah, I think you should too. If this is your market, if this is your brand, if this is your arena. If it's not, give it some thought as to whether you want to be on it or whether or not you want to lock in your name. But I definitely think there's going to be cool toys that develops, and it seems to be probably a much smarter community than some of the other ones that I'm seeing on all the other sites, especially now with all the political garbage going on. So looking forward to seeing you on app.net. If you get a chance to follow me, I'll be under my usual moniker, Chris Voss, one word, and tell them Chris Voss sent you. Chris Voss tested, Chris Voss approved. I like app.net. I think it's worth $50. Go for it.